Hey guys, Kuzo here, back with another video, and in this video today I'm going to be doing another installment of redrawing old art I did as a kid. And for my last two videos of this, I redrew an old drawing of Goku, and I redrew Naruto as well. For this one, I decided I'm going to be redrawing an old drawing I did of Sasuke I did back when I was 17. Drawing should have popped up just a second ago, and to be honest, this drawing is probably one of the better ones I did when I was 17. I was a pretty bad artist when I was 17. I was a late bloomer. I drew for a long time when growing up, ever since I was younger, but I never really seemed to hit a good stride in my teens for any real improvement. I saw some improvement here and there, but it was nothing really drastic, and it's kind of sad. I wish I improved a little bit more then, because I would have been further now. But if any of you guys are looking at the drawing and saying, well, that's better than what I can do now, or comparing it to your age or something like that, like I said, it was probably one of the better drawings I did when I was 17, and I got kind of lucky with it. And honestly, I wish it was worse than this, because using those drawings for these kinds of videos, if it looks good, it's better if that drawing looks bad for a redrawing video, so it shows better improvement. But I didn't have any other really super bad drawings of Sasuke. I guess I just didn't draw Sasuke as much. I drew Naruto a lot, so I have plenty of horrible Naruto drawings, but I can't do every single redraw video as Naruto ones. And when I go further back, I have a bunch of bad Dragon Ball Z drawings, so my selection is a bit limited. But no, I could probably find some other things to redraw at some point. I got some pretty bad original characters that I could definitely try to redesign. So let's actually talk about the drawing a little bit now. So as you can tell from the old illustration, we're drawing Curse Mark Sasuke when he was younger in the first half of Naruto. For whatever reason, in the old illustration, I decided to make his sleeves white. I don't know why I decided to do that, but I did. In this one, I decided not to make his sleeves white because I wanted it to actually, look like Sasuke's actual outfit that he wears in the series. But other than the sleeves, the pose, I decided to do something completely different on this one. In the other one, his arm on the right hand side is just up off to the side, very stiff, and then his other arm is just going off to the left, doing nothing really worth anything. I wouldn't even really call it a pose, It's just one of those things that you start trying to do. You start trying to move around the limbs a little bit when you're testing things out. It just looked like as if you took a 3D model or something and then just moved its arm and didn't have anything else move along with it. It's just very stiff and not really much of a pose to begin with. But apparently, I also had a thing where I would shade in ink drawings with pencil, which has a really weird feeling to it a lot of the times. I'm sure you can do it in a good way, but it doesn't look good in my old drawing. For this new one, I decided to actually go for a pose that's a little bit above, kind of tilting his head, tilting the camera off to the left hand side, and having his arm going up and then tilting downward. In this one, with his arm coming at you, I wanted to try to tilt it in a bit of a different way, so that's why I tried to put his shoulder and his elbow up higher than the actual hand itself, because a lot of the time what you'll see is the shoulder is lower and the elbow is lower than the hand, and the hand is the highest coming at you. And I just wanted to try to switch it up just a little bit at least. And it was a little bit difficult. I erased the arm a couple times, and I actually think I erased the arm again after I start inking it as well. I erased the elbow probably a little bit soon here, because there we go, because I realized that portion of the arm was just a little bit too long, so I wanted to push it up a little bit further and shorten that up, and try to also force the foreshortening a little bit. I wish I would have done that a little bit before I inked this, because I feel like I could have made the hand ever so slightly bigger, and I could have pulled it forward, or sorry, to the right a little bit more, so that way it would have been a little bit more in the center. But I feel like if I would have put it too much in center, it would have thrown the whole kind of composition a little bit off whack. So there's nothing crazy going on here compositionally, but basically his face is closer to center, his hand is closer to left, and then his pelvis is closer to the right hand side. And it all kind of has this jagged look to it when you look at his head, then it drifts off to the left to his hand, and then down to the bottom right for his pelvis. So it has you looking kind of all over the canvas, as well as leaving some of those open spots at the top for lightning and stuff like that. So one thing to note is this paper ratio is super weird because it's super long and really skinny. Now if any of you are having any weird thoughts about what I just said, quit it, you nasty. But anyways, so this sketchbook is actually a refill sketchbook for a notebook traveler that are typically leather or pleather. So you kind of just put them in there in between some elastic strings. It holds inside this sort of leather back, and it's pretty cool. I decided to use this for this video outside of the leather back because it sits really flat and nice like that. And these sketchbooks are actually pretty cheap for how many of them you get, and the ratio is very strange to actually do a finished drawing on, but they're really fun to just sketch and mess around on. I decided to give it a try out in this video, and just like my last few videos, I'm using the G pen to ink with the India black ink. And I think it's best to mention that it is a G pen, but it's actually the Zebra G pen, for if any of you guys are looking for it. It's the Zebra G pen, not the normal G pen. The Zebra G pen works a lot better than your traditional G pen does. And the pencil I use for this is a 0.7 Bic mechanical pencil. It's the disposable kind that you can get in the bulk pack. And as for the weight of the graphite, it's just the same sort of darkness that comes in the standard pack. Nothing special. I don't refill them. Once I'm done with them, I just toss them. But back to the illustration a little bit. We have already finished the line art and the inking for the most part, and we're just going in with some pencils, blocking in a lot of the shades that I'm going to be doing. And in this one I filled in the shades a little bit, only because I'm trying to show that light source of that hand and the lightning coming out, and I wanted to make sure it looked accurate. And when I went to actually put in the blackouts, it didn't look all wonky. So I filled in some of the blacks just as a test to see how it would look. Honest, halfway through this drawing, I didn't really like how it was coming out, but I decided to stick through it and try to finish it out. Right around this time is when I was just like, I don't know if I really want to finish this or not. I might just scrap this video. But once again, just like my Naruto one that I recently did, the redesign of Naruto into cyberpunk, you guys can also check that out if you haven't watched that one yet. But yeah, so definitely wasn't feeling very confident about it, but I'm glad I kept on going with it because it started to pull together towards the end, and I started liking the end product a lot more. Alright, let's talk about Sasuke a little bit. I know, there's a lot of people that don't like Sasuke, and there's some people who really like Sasuke, just like how there's a whole fan base that loves Todoroki, and there are a lot of people that despise Todoroki. But in the comment section, let me know who you like more, Sasuke or Naruto. I sit on the fence of I like Naruto a lot more than Sasuke, but I also do really like Sasuke. I think what draws me to Sasuke is the relationship between him and Naruto, because one of the things that kept me wanting to watch more and more and more was seeing their development together, who was getting stronger, Naruto catching up, seeing them eventually fight, stuff like that. That was the stuff that really excited me about Naruto, and just the overall plot. But out of those two characters, I definitely like the underdog a lot more. Sasuke's not necessarily an underdog. Then again, I can really get into Sasuke's story, but I feel like what made it feel really good is having the contrast between the two, which is, how it is in a lot of stories, just like Deku and Bakugo, and Goku and Vegeta, and just like a lot of the shonen series. And now that I think about it, I don't really feel like Luffy has a direct rival. You know what I'm saying? I've watched a lot of One Piece, and I can't really remember if he has a direct rival. It's kind of just like the rival of the arc kind of thing. But I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now. But let's get back to Sasuke a little bit here. So one of the first things that got me really excited about Sasuke was in the first arc when he got that curse mark. I was like, oh yeah, man. Here we go. Sasuke had his whole Avenger type of thing, went to avenge his village and stuff like that, but then we had Naruto with his Demon Fox power, and then we had, you know, Sasuke with the Sharingan, but to add in, you know, the curse mark and extra power, it made it more interesting in the fact that you're going to be sitting there thinking, okay, Naruto's Demon Fox versus Sasuke's curse mark. I don't feel like the Sharingan was, you know, well established enough to really push Sharingan versus Demon Fox. It's more like two mystical-esque powers. I know the curse mark isn't really that mystical, but it felt mystical when it came around. It felt mysterious. These two mysterious powers kind of going at each other within the rivalry that was already established. It felt really nice and cool, and you really looked forward to it. At least I looked forward to it. I'm sure most people who watch Naruto look forward to that fight, especially the very first one at the end of the first half. Okay, that's not the first one. That's the second one, but that first real fight, I wouldn't really count the one on top of the rooftop a real fight. What, they like yelled at each other, threw a couple blows, and were about to hit each other with the Rasengan and Chidori, but then Kakashi came in and was like, boo, and threw them at the water towers. And yes, I know, you know, Naruto fans are gonna be like, dude, don't forget the part where it showed the back of the water containers, and Sasuke thought he was like, oh yeah, man, my Chidori's like the best, you know. And then he looks at the back of Naruto's container, it's like blown out, and I was like, yes. Kuzo, your Naruto heart is showing. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna put that away. To get back to the illustration a little bit, right now I'm doing some freehand speed marks. I was very nervous about doing these. I didn't know if they were going to turn out well or not, but they ended up turning out pretty decent. I kind of penciled in some guidelines, not for each and every one of them, and obviously I didn't use a ruler here because the ruler would just slowed things down and actually just made it more difficult. So I try to kind of balance them in between all of these electrical lines kind of going everywhere. Do that at the very end. If I did go over any of those electrical pieces, that I would just go in with some whiteout and white out over some of it, which I do in the very end. I do. Come on, guys. We're better than this. We're better than this, people. In any case, if you guys want to help support my artists, help support what I do in this channel, you guys can check me out on my Patreon, link in the description. But I'd like to take this time to thank my current patrons. You guys are the best pencil shinobis there are, and help me be able to do what I do on this channel. I do need to update this list, so all my new patrons, you guys will be on this roster coming up soon. But for now, I'd like to give a special thanks to my Chunin and Jonin tier Patreons: Satoshi, Alpha Dog Studios, Benjamin T, Jeffrey Riddle, Yulia Namikaze, Wear My Crown, Daniel Hillier, Maricuzio, JT, Aaron McQuiston, Slow Days, Aaliyah Williams, Ryan, Johnny Boy Draws, Liqueur, Weeb Ninja, Leo McIntyre, Joe, Daniel Hutchinson, Urgin, David DeBoer, Jaden Syria, Fabsy, Lost Illustrator, and Paul Hrubeck. Big thanks to every single one of my Patreons. You guys are the best. In any case, if you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you're new to this channel, like what you see, please subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when each video comes out. And like always, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.